actors strike. How is that going to impact things, and what are your expectations there?
Well, I think it's very disturbing to me. We've talked about disruptive forces on this business and all the challenges that we're facing and the recovery from COVID, which is ongoing. It's not completely back. This is the worst time in the world to add to that disruption.
What did you think about Bob Iger's comments yesterday?
I found them terribly repugnant and out of touch, positively tone deaf. And, I don't think it served him well. If I were that company, I would lock him behind doors.
Variety's Elizabeth Wagmeister speaking there to Fran Drescher, the SAG AFTRA President. She's just back from covering Hollywood's writers and actors being out on strike for the first time together since 1960, back when Ronald Reagan was running SAG AFTRA. Elizabeth, welcome back to The Issue Is.
Thank you, Alex. I always love being with you.
So what did you learn being out there talking to the folks on the line?
If it wasn't clear, what I learned is that these actors, they will be striking until the end of time. People ask, how long is this going to take? How long can this go on? And I asked that question of many SAG-AFTRA members, and they all said, really, the ball is in the court of the AMPTP. We are out here. We are on the picket lines. We are fighting for our future. They are showing no signs of slowing down. And if we look at the WGA strike, if that's any indication, that's going on for longer than 2 months at this point already.
Well, and in that negotiation, they're not even negotiating. They're not even talking to each other.
They haven't gone back to the negotiating table since May 1st.
Okay, so what is the main sticking point? What's this really about? Because a lot of people hear this, they'll say, all these rich actors, who cares about them? Tom Cruise without work, who cares? What's really going on here?
Okay, so first of all, when we say rich actors, that is the 0.01% of the 0.01% in Hollywood. When you are out there on the picket lines, where I just was earlier today, these are not rich actors. These are people who are living paycheck to paycheck. And then when you look at what this is about, strikes are usually all about money, right? This is about money, of course. They want their pay to be increased. It's also about protection in the streaming world and with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, this idea that people could basically replace by machines. This is something the writers are looking at. This is something a lot of industries are going to be looking at. We're sort of at this inflection point when it comes to artificial intelligence. What do the actors want?
They are telling us that when they were in the negotiating room, that what the studio side wants is to be able to have an extra come in for one day, and a day rate under the SAG contract is around $200. They want to be able to scan their face. They work one day, and then they could use their likeness and their image in perpetuity. So that means that you are getting paid around $200 for a few hours of work, but then you show up in the background everywhere. So that is a really scary reality, and that's what the actors say that they are fighting against.
So the question, you talked a little bit about how does this end? Could there be more pressure from other folks to make it end? We talked about this today at an event in Hollywood that I was at. Here's some video of this, moderating a State of the State event for the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. This issue really top of mind. Here's what State Senator Ben Allen, who represents part of Hollywood, had to say.
Governors in the past got involved when there was the slowdown at the ports. This could be so existential, to our region that I think we need that high level attention.
Suggesting that Governor Newsom potentially get involved, that possibly the president gets involved. Are there any external forces like that that could maybe bring these guys to actually get a deal done?
I mean, earlier this week, before the actors did go on strike, the studio side, the AMPTP, they brought in a federal mediator. Clearly, that didn't work because they're out there on the picket lines. You also have to look at the economy. If you look back at the writer's strike from 2007, 2008, that's just the writers, not the actors. That cost $2.1 billion. This isn't just paying the actors. It's not just paying the writers. You have the restaurant business with on-set catering. You have hotels. There are so many ancillary industries that are impacted by this. So there really are two sides to this story.
Yeah, and those folks maybe aren't unionized and aren't necessarily supportive of this because it's really hurting their own personal bottom line. Not to mention all the folks that kind of miss their entertainment and miss their shows.
Come the fall season, you will notice this because the broadcast shows typically go into production right around this time in the summer. They can't work. So that means that all of the network TV shows cannot go into production right now. On ABC, for example, they have lined up their whole fall schedule with all reality programming. So we'll probably see a lot of reality shows. will see reruns, but the streamers won't be hit as hard because they have this whole backlog and library of content.
Well, in September, the Emmys are supposed to air on Fox. It's looking unlikely that they will air on Fox. We got the Emmy nominations announced this week, which was another big story that's kind of getting lost in the shuffle of all of this. But I know there was one Emmy show that got special love that you wanted to shine a light on.
Yes. I love the show Jury Duty. It's on Amazon's Freevee. And if you haven't watched it, I don't want to give it away, but it's about a real trial that's actually a fake trial.
The basic premise of Jury Duty, one guy shows up for jury duty. He's there for real. Everybody else is an actor, and it's that premise. Also, we loved White Lotus season 2.
We both agree it got better in season 2.
It got better. We love Tanya. So we go to break with music from the White Lotus. Elizabeth, thank you. And we'll be back with more of The Issue Is after this. How great is this theme song, by the way?
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.